Hey, Grandad. Um, you'd be so proud of me. Um, I I I practiced the last few days. I didn't want to do yours first so I could get it right. Um, we're going out, mate. I'll take you out for the morning. We're gonna go for a walk up to the park. I can't wait to take you there. Friggin' elevator. Taking ages. It's coming up. This is everyone in this in the backpackers here complains about it. It goes up and down. It's like going for a ride on this thing. um, so, um, Grandad, you're the toughest man that I've ever met. And the most gentlest at the same time. You're a true Aussie born leader. And I'm so proud to be your grandson. I couldn't get to say goodbye to you because of certain family circumstances that for some reason they decided to go down that path. But still got a bit of a sniffly, so yeah, forgive me. But yeah, so I want to show you a few things. So there's a building here. I don't know if you can see it there. Look at this building. Sensational. It reminds me of Pixel movie, and like I imagine like Pac-Man coming down, like, chop, 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 all the way down onto it, and yeah, and it reminds me of the kids too when I watch that. I'm missing them so much. I know you're looking after them, so I got no worries, mate, because you're up there. I know you're leading the charge. You're telling people what to do left, right, and centre, and like you always told us, make sure you got your shoes on. So I bought these New Balance from the op shop. They're like $200 pair of shoes for like $30, mate. I'm so happy. They're the same exact size and they're so comfortable. And the best shoes I've had on this whole journey. I'm really happy about that. And I got my life's fine on here for you. And this for you, mate. And so yeah, when I got into Adelaide, I was homeless, and I met another homeless guy, and he had no shoes on. And have a look at this. Look at this. Don't look at his boobies. um, but yeah, so basically, um, he had no shoes on, and I had another set of shoes in my suitcase that I had with me, and you were yelling out to me, "Put your shoes on, put some shoes on," and I had to give him my shoes because of that was going in my head, and because of that. exchange. The homeless guy, he he showed me a few tricks around town to sort of help navigate me in the concrete jungle. And when I first met him, um, he his face like so drawn, and like for like most of the whole time, like he was like his inner being, like like it was so drawn out. And at the end of it, I had him smiling, and he walked away like cool as hell, and really grateful about that. And that wasn't me, man. That was you, Granddad. That was you. And like it happened again. I met another homeless lady, and I've seen her here in Melbourne too. It's just uncanny, right? So it's like they're following me around. And basically, yeah. So I had some jandals, freaking jandals from New Zealand. Had some thongs in my suitcase as well, and I gave them to her, and we stayed up all night. And I got my guitar, and we sat on the beach, and I played tunes, and it was cold as hell, and I wrapped her up in hope blankets that I had, and she fell asleep, while I was playing, and I comforted her for the night, and the next morning she went to give them back to me, and I said, no, 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 they're yours, and the smile on her face was so magical. That was you again, mate. That was you again. And those gifts, priceless. That's priceless. And when I went to Mount Isa Mines, I jumped on the cage, and I want to tell you about the cage because it's incredible. It's like it's got two decks on it, and you put a four-wheel drive on. You can't do on each deck, but you can literally fit a four-wheel drive on each deck, but you're only allowed to put one on because of the weight capacity of it. And this thing does like 40 kilometers an hour going straight down, and you got like 80 men on this thing, and basically I've got to run across the road because I've got a red light. I've got a dump truck that wants to run me over. Beep, beep. And so it trips out every now and then. Oh man, there's like a bungee cord, and 80 guys. It's an experience. Yeah, so like those environments that I was in, man. Oh man, that made me a man. But it when I got down on the first day, because it's a copper mine, it smelled like your shop, mate. It smelled like your radiator shop. And mate, you work solo, and you're the hardest working man I've ever met, ever, ever, ever met, and switched on, switched on. Now you passed away, I can tell you a secret, because you know, using 1 cent and 2 cent pieces as copper to fix the radiators back in the day, mate, that's a trick. You want to talk about fraudulent activities? using 1 and 2 cent coins for copper. No wonder they phased them out. Oh, Jesus. And you're deaf as, mate. You can't, you're deaf, mate. You're deaf. And you walk into your radiator shop, and and uh, and basically the, the gardens here. Oh, sorry, I cut in, but the gardens here are beautiful, Grandad. And you're always in the garden at the back, and you'll love this. You'll love this here. And and you hear, it's just so loud inside your workshop. You're like, Granddad, 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 and you just focus on the oxy torch on the radiator, and just going nuts, mate, with your apron on and your big bath for the radiator bath to make sure that there's no leaks and things like that. And you got the back spray booth for painting them all up. And mate, you're renowned for your work because it was a piece of art. That was fantastic. Whilst Grandma had the books at home and did your clothing and whatnot, and that was beautiful. And Grandma would always have your black tea and the teapot with your good starts for brekkie and some biscuits and lunch and afternoon tea. And your shop was beside you was the SES and sorry, beside you, yeah, was a vacant block, then the SES, and then the water tower, and then your house. So you could chuck a stone from home to there, and you'd always be back on time for smoko. You know, sometimes Grandma have to ring you up. The phone would be blah 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 blah. You still wouldn't answer it because you couldn't freaking hear anything. But anyways, yeah, so like that too. And I still drinking black tea, mate. And you gave me my first cup of black tea. I can't even remember what age I was, but wee little fella, wee little fella. And like your gardening, man, you could have fed the whole town. I think you did, because you had every fruit and veggie under the bloody sun, and you didn't stop until you died. You still went, still kept going. I think that's, you know, I, I don't know um, if that's magic, like, because like the fruit, oh man, the fruit and veggies, they were like top notch, like so tasty, just so everything looked amazing. You walk out the back, and I think this is where I get a bit of OCD from being a draftsman and my project management, and wanting things in order, because the gardens were like perfectly aligned. Everything, the lettuces were spaced out correctly, like everything. It just looked. If you went down the back and you had a look, you'd like putting a award out for first place because it was so spectacular. So yeah, I've got a memorial here. I think this is where I might set up and play. But yeah, that was bloody unbelievable. Like the way that you had that set up, and I I um, because you're so deaf. I had a funny story when my brother and I went fishing with you. Like, oh, I don't even think I was. I think I might have been about 8 or 9 years old. Like, but it's so memorable. It's like I was there, and you had this uh, flat bottom tinny, and we're in the creek, saltwater creek, and we went up fishing, and we threw a few lines, and nothing was biting. So we scooted off, and my brother and I were sitting on the top, facing back towards Grandad, like on the actual top part of of the hell, and Granddad's like got the motor, and we were scooting down the middle of the creek, and you're looking down, doing up a lure, and we're yelling out because you're so deaf, you still couldn't hear it. Got the motor going on. We're like, Granddad, 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 Granddad. And next minute, kaboof! And my brother and I, we went flying off the friggin' front into this like 2 meter by 2 meter little island that was sitting in the middle of the friggin' creek. Oh shit! I think that's the only time you stuffed up with us, mate. Oh. Brother and I got bloody friggin' mud all over us. It was so funny. Oh, sometimes I wonder if he did it on purpose. Oh shit. Yeah, and so uh, every Friday I went ballroom dancing with you as a kid, and you led the pack, mate. And like and we'll go out for coffee and coffee and dessert afterwards. And man, the people that were involved in that were lovely. It was so beautiful. And and I wish you could have saw it, but grandmother would have been bloody proud when she got home after this. And I'm so glad of this moment, mate, because it is no joke the best moment of my entire life. So on graduation night, um, uh, you can only bring your mum and dad, and unfortunately, my parents are separated. So I invited my grandmother, and the mothers didn't know that we were taking them up on the dance floor for a dance. And basically, we get up and we're in a circle. There's I think 102 of us, around that anyway, that graduated that year. So it's a big circle on the indoor basketball court at Ignatius Park College in Townsville. And so we're with grandmother, and the dance starts. Unfortunately for these guys, my grandmother knew how to dance the dance, and I didn't tell her. And we broke free from the circle, and we danced in the middle together. And holy Jesus, man, we went past the teacher's table, and their mouths are freaking hitting the floor. That moment, I've got tingles down my back. That moment was magical. Magical. So magical. My grandmother got an award for that. That, oh man. And that's my gift back to you guys, because you gifted me that. And that's still in my blood. And you played the harmonica, the bloody fucking, what do you call it, the piano organ. And between you and I, there ain't no other musical person in our family. So where the hell did we get it from? Don't know. We all sung and stuff and that in the family, but playing an instrument wise, like, it just wasn't bound. And I, unfortunately, it was something that wasn't celebrated. And I just think because it's something that's unfamiliar and something that I learnt through this processes. And I did some programs with Salvation Army Beacon, about boundaries and bits and bobs where I learnt like human conditioning and how you know certain aspects uh, can you know affect our process in life. But we are all individual, and again, like, it's really nobody's fault. And I don't know. I'm not. I I've got no thought for or harshness or whatever against anybody. I just it's not even disappointment really. It's I I'm struggling with it because I I f- it's not feeling sorry for anybody either. It's more so like I just hope that that these messages can sort of change a perspective on life. Oh, you can't change or can't this. It's called growth. Like, and learnt another thing that really and true aspects of it all. We are the inner child of who we were, like as a 3-year-old. And I was a pretty, pretty advanced sort of little boy. And that took on a curious approach to life. I was helpful. Um, I was introverted, extroverted. Um, just with with the same pure heart that I had all these years. And thanks to you and grandma, you you guys like grabbed that from inside of me and helped me display that into the world in a positive way. And I'm forever grateful. And and I'd be dishonoring you too, both of yous, if I wasn't trying to be at my full potential. So I challenge myself, and I'm probably my own worst critic. So it's not trying to be a perfectionist. It's just leading by example. And I just hope that this message to you, because it's my eulogy to you, mate, inspires others on the right path. I'm not saying you have to be religious or whatever or anything like that. Like, I'm gonna explain what how I approach it. So I don't usually go to services. I've been attending some in recent days, but my philosophy is this: is that, and I don't expect anyone to jump on board this, but and this is why I say that get in touch with whoever you think your higher power is and have that relationship, because that relationship is yours and yours alone, and nobody should ever get in between it. And like you said, everybody else's relationship, that's yours between them and you. Nobody else should get in between it. And you work with that. Man, when my guitar and that got stolen in Adelaide, I did this. Fuck you, God. You stripped me of everything. Fuck you, motherfucker. And a few weeks later, I went to go and look for a new guitar. And I walk in the shop, and there's a school teacher there getting his guitar repaired. And we had a great conversation to the point where he offered me to go and get a beer with him. So I jumped in his car and we went and had a beer. Never met this lad ever. And so we're sitting down having a beer, and he goes, "Oh, I've got a recording studio at the back." I'm like, "What the hell are we doing here? Should be there." He's on the phone to Mrs. Because she's working from home. We just get permission, and like, so yeah, we did that and went around his place and walked into this thing, mate. Yeah, yeah. And the exact same Pearl signature drum kit that sticks from my band and my best band that I've ever been in and from Townsville was there. An early Ernie Ball Music Man bass and an SG guitar and a state-of-the-art computer recording studio. Holy Jesus, it couldn't get better. Nah, it did. Because he brings out his home brew and pours us a beer from his home tap. Oh, man. And so I jumped on the drums, and he jumped on the bass, and we jammed out, and we recorded it, and he played the recording back, and it sounded like dog's balls. And he goes, "What's this?" And he presses this one button, and he feeds it back to me. It sounds like Red Hot Chili Peppers started playing. I went, "Oh man!" I went, "Holy crap!" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I said, "Man, imagine if the Beatles had this." He goes, "Yeah, that's what I said too." And I was like, in that moment, I realised something. You can take it away, but it all comes back. It's just, it's just all about your attitude. And I thought about it, and I was like, thank God, and I apologise to God for giving middle finger after he did that, for that to happen. Because if my shit didn't get stolen, I wouldn't have experienced that moment. I wouldn't be here in Melbourne. I wouldn't be saying this message. So it's like this. It's like, set your targets, set a high one, set a high target, high in the sky. Set a target so high, you don't have to achieve it, but just enjoy the journey to get there. And I bet you, I bet you all the money on the planet, when you get there, whatever outcome it is, it'll be better. It'll be better than the outcome you predicted. And you're gonna have your shit days. You're gonna go through hell. You're gonna go through good times. It's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs. But I'm in the most whole of my life, and I'm living like this. I'm not begging on the streets. I'm not putting myself in that position. But it's all about attitude. And I am so grateful because that came from you two, Grandma and Granddad. I'm so grateful. You know, these people out here, unfortunately, they weren't lucky enough to have that upbringing. So God bless you both, because without you, I'd probably be dead or somewhere on the streets in a hole, not being able to do this today. So as I set this up, I'm going to try and get a dry spot. As I set this up, I'll try. Yeah, no, that right there. As I set this up, it's the best piece of advice. It still is the best piece of advice ever. Come from you, Grandad. It costs nothing to say hello to someone. And I'm going to one up you, so the next generation can hear it. Maybe that hello can be priceless. So, oh. So, I thought about what song to play here, because there's never been a song, because when I think about you, I go back to the ballroom dancing for some reason. So it was quite difficult for me to try and figure out something. So and uh, and it's quite cool because it gets to show off a double technique. So I put the pick down here for later on, and thought about it, and been on this journey followed by you, and it's Moonshadow. So, and how true to the fact this is, like, for what's happened in our lives and how we approach it. And there's a great message in this. So thank you, Grandma and Grandad. Well, I've been followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow. We're leaping, hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hand, I no, that's what it goes. I got this in my ear. So, so if I ever lose my hand, lose my plow, lose my land. If I ever lose my hands, away, I won't have to work no more. And if I ever lose my eyes, all my colors are run dry. If I ever lose my eyes, oh yeah, I won't have to cry no more. 'Cause I've been followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. We're leaping, hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, I won't moan, I won't beg. If I ever lose my legs, oh yeah, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south. And if I ever lose my mouth, oh yeah, I won't have to talk. Didn't take long to find me. I asked if they were lying. Didn't take long to find me. And are you gonna stay tonight? I've been followed by a shadow, shadow, shadow. Well, they've been hopping on a shadow, shadow, shadow. Well, I've been followed by a shadow, shadow, shadow. Well, they've been hopping on a shadow, shadow, shadow. Shadow, shadow, a moon shadow, shadow. And it just started raining at the same time I did that. Man, that's so cool. And I took you for a ride on my motorbike in Broken Hill, man, and I never forget that day. And you had so much fun, and I brought out your inner child, and I'm so grateful to do that for you. That was my gift to you, and that memory will be with me for the rest of my life. So thank you. It's been an honour and a pleasure having you as my grandparents. Love yous both from the bottom of my heart.